Welcome. Evening of songs from the Ukrainian Heartland with Craig Judelman, Sasha, Lurje, and Michael Alpert.
You keep forgetting that. I don't know what you said. Shalom Aleichem.
Good Woche.
Good Woche.
Or Shavua Tov, as they say in English.
Schenkel, es ist Moschke mit dem Fiedel und mit Kalke halt a Galke und singt sich zu a Liedl. Ay, 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 der мамай, от царола мама моя, девчинечка маленька, треба гуляти, випивати, горілку повним склянком. Строит мешкале, ой, sein Fiedele. Und sing sich zu as Meeres Liedele Sing sich Meshkale Ot azoy Kol mekadesh vikaroy loi Kol shomer Shabbos kados mechaleloi Trinken Maschke von der Flaschke, das ken nur a Goy. Shechura b'meyoid, Alpert pualo. Und das Liedl mit dem Fiedel zu nehmen alle Glieder wie a Relim von die Kehlim trinken Maschke wieder. Ay, 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 der мамай, от царола мама моя, девчинечка маленька, треба гуляти, випивати, горілку повним склянком. Горілку повним склянком. Schönen Dank, Shalom Aleichem, Dobry Večer, Labvakar, good evening, whatever, all the languages. Let's try and speak all of them at once. That's the plan for tonight and every other night, because, as we say, ein Loshen is keinmal nicht genug. One language is never enough.
You're telling Canadians.
I'm telling Canadians.
You're telling everybody. Right?
I'm also telling Canadians. Now whatever. Yeah, so the song you just heard is not necessarily a traditional song at all, but it's based off a lot of traditional motifs. It's a cabaret song recorded in Berlin in 1930s. But it tells a story of Moshe and the Michalke that both sit in one Ukrainian tavern together, and it's Friday night, and they sing zmiras, and they play violins, and they also sing Ukrainian songs. It's also the song from which I learned how to say uncircumcised in Yiddish. Well, the word for foreskin in Yiddish is orel, and the uncircumcised is obviously the arelim, because they have the foreskin. So here is a wonderful way to start a concert.
Yeah, and Jessica thought it was going to be depressing.
I'll never think of Oral-B, toothbrushes, dental care the same way again. Or the oral tradition, so to speak.
Anyhow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Alpert.
So the program we're bringing you tonight is not all fun. Is some fun, and most of it already happened in the first song. No, I'm kidding. What we want to celebrate is the joint traditions of Jewish and Ukrainian music that grew up on the same beautiful soil. And in this next, say, suite, we're gonna explore exactly that. You'll hear some Ukrainian songs, some Jewish songs.
Well, they're both Ukrainian.
So, but they're both. Let's say you'll hear some songs in Ukrainian language and in the Jewish language, but all of them are Ukrainian.
Night songs from a neighboring village come drifting at times to my porch. They caress my loneliness, quench my sorrow, flow like liquid honey. Ukrainian songs, hearty and fresh, smelling of field and barn. They fill the air with a dear warmth that streams from the fires of home.
Nachtische Lieder von scheinischen Dorf verblonschen am Ulze mein Gonig, sei löschen meine Trauer, sei glätten meine Met, sei fließen wie saftiger Honig. Sei löschen man Trauer, sei glätten man Met, sei fließen wie saftiger Honig.
Lieder ukrainske, muntere Frische, wo schmecken mit Felde, mit Scheier, sie füllen die Luft und mit der Warmkeit Liebe, wo strömt von einer heimischen Feier.
Oje tam na hoре, oje tam na крате, oje tam сидела пара голубів.
Ой, там найділа пара голубів.
Вони сиділи, цілувалися,
Сивими крилами, ой, молися, сивими крилами, ой, молися. Der Barmtag, meine lieben Menschen, der Barmtag hinter ein Neut, in der Gott soll lach, mit Teile mit Gitpenschen. Der Barmtag in er schenkt das Stückl Bräut, in der Gott soll lach, mit Teile mit Gitpenschen. Der Barmtag in er schenkt das Stückl Bräut. Was euch das Schämste sich nicht, gehen so gerissen. Was euch das Schämste sich nicht, euch strecken dann und. Nur das Einzige wollt ihr gewollt wissen. Für wo nicht ist dein Gebäudenland. Nur das Einzige wollt ihr gewollt wissen. Für wo nicht ist dein Gebäudenland. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here with you all. I think these days we all need music as much, if not more, than ever. And me and Michael have been doing some shows down the west coast on the other side of the border.
AKA Mordor.
Yeah, we crossed the border and we're just kind of like, oh, it's like the world is still a crazy place, but it feels a little.
But then
Feels
there's
good to be
Canada.
up here. They were so nice to us, I have to say. But yeah, we've been playing some music from an album that we kind of created almost by accident 5 years ago.
Intentionally by accident.
Actually, the three of us were marooned on the east coast of Scotland, where Michael lives. We had set out to do a tour in March of 2020. Yeah.
Oh, right. March of 2020, eh? Right.
Yeah.
I think of that time very fun.
Right.
Yeah, we were in a good place.
Yeah, and so obviously the tour got canceled, and we wisely decided not to travel back to our home in Berlin, where me and Sasha live. And after a while of walking and talking and playing sometimes, we thought we'd record some of our musical wanderings, and it turned into an album that's sitting on the table there called In der Heim, or Down Home, as we call it in English.
Might as well call it lockdown.
Lockdown home, right.
And we're going to play you a tune, or I don't know, let's see, maybe even two.
Wie du willst, dabei.
Yeah,
Right.
let's find out. Yeah. And then we'll play a bit more later. But here's a Skoczne collected in Ukraine back about 100 years ago by Moshe Beregovsky. A tune for listening, so it's appropriate that you're hopefully listening. Don't shut your ears yet.
Craig Judelman.
Michael Alpert. Very nice.
So we're going to sing a song now written in 1926 in Vilna, a.k.a. Vilno, a.k.a. Vilnius, the historical capital of Lithuania, important Lithuanian city, historically, a Polish city, very Jewish city, also Belarusian cultural capital too. Little known fact about Vilna. And this was written by Shmerke Kaczerginski, who was at the time, in 1926 when he wrote it, he was about 17 years old, I think. He was one of the leading young Yiddish poets of Poland. And he wrote this about a strike. Yes, a strike. Labor activism in Vilna, and it was part of a general wave of strikes. In Vilna was then part of Poland. It's called barrikaden, barricades, and in a process that our friend Daniel Kahn has cleverly termed tradaptation, in which some of us take songs and not only translate them into another language, but adapt them to the milieu of that language, in this case, the English of North America. But it also has trad in it, so you get the traditional thing in there too. I've written English lyrics to it, so you'll understand it no matter which of these two languages you speak, and I hope. And it also, some years ago, occurred to me that it makes a kind of perfect Appalachian style song too, with a melody that many of you will recognize as well. So, barrikaden. Tatisch mamisch Kinderla, boyen barrikaden, oi boyen barrikaden, in die Gassen gehen herum, Arbeiter atraden, in die Gassen gehen herum, Arbeiter atraden. Now moms and dads and little kids ain't got enough to eat, ain't got enough to eat. They're all building barricades in the middle of the street. They're all building barricades in the middle of the street. Oi, is der Tate fria weg, oi, heint in der Fabrik, oi, heint in der Fabrik. Schwächen nie die Kinderlar, wenn kommt zurück. Schwächen nie die Kinderlar, wenn kommt zurück. Now Dad's off to the factory, his hands are stained and dirty, his hands are stained and dirty. He's standing in the strike brigade with his 30-30. He's standing in the strike brigade with his 30-30. There won't be any dinner tonight, says Hannah to her brothers, says Hannah to her brothers, 'cause Mom's off to the picket line with all the striking mothers, 'cause Mom's off to the picket line with all the striking mothers. Wird nicht sein kein Wetschere, dort gaan alle Diaten, dort gaan alle Diaten, oi, weil die Mami sich weg, oi, selfen dem Taten, oi, weil die Mami sich weg, oi, selfen dem Taten. Now tear gas drifts and bullets rain just like a leaden squall, just like a leaden squall. One comes through the window pane and lodges in the wall. One comes through the window pane and lodges in the wall. If that's the story, Hannah says, kids get up off the floor. Kids get up off the floor. One of you take the tabletop, or one of you grab the door. Oh, one of you take the tabletop, one of you grab the door. Du Ebersche sagt Hanale, Jatten kommt mit mir, Toi Jatten kommt mit mir. Oi Rivkale nem dem Lokschenbrett, Jankale die Tier. Oi Rivkale nem dem Lokschenbrett, Jankale die Tier. Herring barrels and dresser drawers are piled up in the street, are piled up in the street, 'cause people turn to barricades when they ain't got what to eat. 'Cause people turn to barricades when they ain't got what to eat. A Barrikade aufgestellt, in Stiebel nicht keiner, in Stiebel nicht keiner. Es laufen Polizei vorbei, Kinder werfen Steine. Es laufen Polizei vorbei, Kinder werfen Steine. The barricade, it stretches now for blocks and blocks and blocks, for blocks and blocks and blocks. There's cops with tasers running by, kids are throwing rocks. There's cops with tasers running by, kids are throwing rocks. Moms and dads and little kids, and the neighbor Mrs. Johnson, and the neighbor Mrs. Johnson are fighting for their hard-run rights like they did in Wisconsin, are fighting for their hard-won rights like they'll do in Wisconsin. Nu tatis mammis kinderlach, boyen barrikaden, oi boyen barrikaden. In die Gassen gehen herum, Arbeiter raden, oi in die Gassen gehen herum, Arbeiter raden. Thank you, thank you. Boy, it's great to be in a place where people singing along with that song, too. Yeah. Vancouver. I realized I first came here in 1981, and I've had some relationship to this city, and well, not to mention to Canada, but to this city over the years, in particular through my old friend Seymour Levitan and Berta Levitan, who many of you know, and it's nice to see Seymour here tonight. Also wie ständig, gesund auf sein Käpperle, und nicht nur auf sein Käpperle, in die Beine rein.
Well, this was our kind of way of easing into the slightly heavier portion of the
In case you didn't realize that.
I think Sasha now is going to... No?
Is it me or is it or will?
It's you.
Oh, okay, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, my
It's you.
my thing is in the wrong order. Okay. I learned this song from our dear departed friend and teacher, Arkady Gendler, who was born in Soroka in Bessarabia and was a youngest son of 11 children. He was the only one that survived the war. He was in the Red Army. He served in the Red Army. And after the war, wound up in Zaporizhia in Ukraine and had a fantastic life. Was really discovered much later in his life as a fantastic singer and songwriter and a carrier of tradition in a very special way. He remembered songs that he learned as a little child. And he remembered all the words and all the verses. He didn't have like little clues here and there. And among other songs, this song he learned from the author himself, from Zelik Berdichever, who was a fantastic legend, a troubadour that wandered around, a wandering songwriter. Zelik's brother was a tailor, so was Arkady's brother. They held a shop together. One was men's tailor and the other one was women's tailor. And Zelik was often a guest in their house when Arkady was a child and would sing his songs. And this song he wrote most likely sometime in the 30s, in early 30s. Just seeing how the world is turning. And in a way, Arkady always said that this song was a little bit of a prophecy. I sometimes think that this song was a song of a man that saw where world is going very clearly. In my dark and lonely house, I sit alone and forgotten. And I envy you, my brother. Your little birds are asking for food, and you have suggested, you have encouraged me to build a nest of my own, but my heart that feels the upcoming storm doesn't let me get birds of my own. And in a corner hangs a spider that sucks life out of the flies. And in the song of the cricket, of the radio, of the news, I hear nothing new. And doves are flying, white doves flying higher than the clouds. And the rain falls and rivers flow, coloring in blood red. Oh, you spiders and the clouds, why do these doves hurt me so? You, my brother, you see your little birds crying, and I see window panes colored in blood red. In mein dunklen Zimmer setz ich einsam und vergessen. Setz ich einsam und vergessen. Dir mekane bin ich Brider. Deine Feigungen essen, dir mekane bin ich Brider, deine Feigungen essen. Lässt mich heizen, lässt mich ruten, sich an Estellois zu boven, sich an Estellois zu boven. Nur mein Herz, was fehlt dem Sturm, lässt keine Feigl mir nicht hoben. Nur mein Herz, was fehlt dem Sturm, lässt keine Feigl mir nicht hoben. In a Winkel, es hängt a Spinn dort, es nuckt von Fliegenneus dus Chayes, nuckt von Fliegenneus dus Chayes, in dem Nigen von dem Grill dort, ich lang schon nicht kein Neues, in dem Nigen von dem Grill dort, ich lang schon nicht kein Neues. Fliegen Täuben, weiße Täuben, fliegen find ich Mares Hecher, fliegen find ich Mares Hecher. Gehst da Regen, Ritschkes Jugend, Farben blutig reut die Teher. Gehst da Regen, Ritschkes Jugend, Farben blutig reut die Techer. Oh, dich Mares und die Spinnen, oi wie weh mir tieren die Täuben, oi wie weh mir tieren die Täuben. Dieses Brüder, Feigl weinen, ich seh blutig reute Scheiben. Dieses Brüder, Feigl weinen, ich seh blutig reute Scheiben.
The black earth of Ukraine is plowed and furrowed, but sown with corpses. On it lies a young soldier. A black bird, a black raven comes flying and begins to peck out his eyes. And in this song, which is actually originally a song in Ukrainian, but is sung both in Yiddish and Ukrainian versions, almost certainly passed around between soldiers in both the Russian and Austro-Hungarian armies in the First World War. It's a version of the ballad of, if some of you know the Scottish tradition, and there are many, many ballads in European tradition on this theme of the fallen fighter, the black crow that comes, and then a conversation takes place between them, and the song goes on to say, fly away to my mother or to my sweetheart and tell her what, but don't tell her, or either tell her or don't tell her what's become of me, because if you tell her, she'll never cease to mourn and weep. So, auf die Felder, grüne Felder. We'll sing a bit of the Ukrainian and the Yiddish. Oi, auf die Felder, die grüne Felder, wehe, wehe. Auf die Felder, grüne Felder, liegt verworfen mein jünger Söllner. Wei, wei, liegt Niet verworf mijn zelner, wei, wei. Чорна риля із горана, хей, гей. Чорна риля із горана, і тропами засіяна. Гей, гей, і тропами засіяна. Гей, гей, кім цифліна шварцер фойгл, вей, вей. Кім цифліна шварцер фойгл, джібет уизбаїм ді ойгн. Вей, вей, джібет уизбаїм ді ойгн. Вей, вей. Летить ворон з чужих сторон, гей, гей. Летить ворон, що сідає, йому очі випиває. Гей, гей, йому очі випиває. Гей, гей.
Well, here is another old melody, also collected by our folk hero Moshe Beregovsky. But the words are new, written by our friend Sarah Gordon. And it's a song about like a modern take on Echad Miyadea. Echad Miyadea, one I know. But what is this that I know? What can I believe? Well, the miracle of freckles and the new blossoms on a lonely tree, the strong, sharp pain of the first love and the blood red of an open plum, the rough skin on your bruise, and a refusal to praise the graves. The little moments, the little miracles that build up our whole life, that is what I believe. That is what I know. Echod mi yoideyo, echod mi yoideyo, ay da 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 da, echod ani yoideyo, echod ani yoideyo. Ay da 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 da, in was ken ich glauben, echad mi yoideyo. Ay da 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 da, ich ken sein am Eimen, echad ani yoideyo. Ay 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 ay, der Ness von Sommer sprenklen und die neue Kleiden von an Elten Bäum. Ei, 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 der Finkel von mein Tränen, echad ani no. Ei, 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 a scharfe Leid von an erste Liebe ani oideyo, kein Leib gesangen vor die Grieber ani no. Der Beginn, was öffnet klare Augen, und ich kann sehen, die jetzt in der Reges, was schaffen all Leben, an die Eure, Hai, hai, dai, dai, als Schorstig Strupp auf der Leiche wohnt, an die Eure, am Blut, die Kreuz von der gespalteten Fluim, an die no. Der Beginn, was öffnet klare Augen, und ich kann sehen, die Nissen was schaffen Leben an die Eure, Hai, dai, 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 Hai, dai, 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 Hai, dai, 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 Hai, dai, 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 dai. Ay, 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 der Ness von Sommer sprenklen und die neue Quaiten von an Elten Bäum. Ay, 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 der Finkel von mein Tränen, echad ani yoideyo. Ay, 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 a scharfe Leid von an erste Liebe von Glorei, ich kann sehen, die jetzt in der Regens was schaffen alle, Nani, yo, hi, ja, schon, sitzt Ruba, verweich gefunden, Nani, yo, aber Lut, ich kreut von der gespaltenen Floi, Mani, Mamino, der Beginn, was von Glorei, und ich kann sehen, die jetzt in den Nissen was schaffen alle, Nani, yo, hi,
Sasha Lurje. Hey, where you going? Yes, so just before the concert, I was chatting once again for the first time in 2 years after having met her 2 years ago with Beverly Dobrinsky, Vancouver's own Ukrainian musician, among other things, and singer. And we were kind of catching up and realized that both of our families come from, in my case, on my mother's side, from the Bukovina region in western Ukraine, and part of it is in Romania today. But an important place for me, both in terms of family heritage and also because I had the privilege about more than 40 years ago, of meeting in New York and becoming close friends with someone who became kind of my Yiddish fiddle kind of Rebbe, guru, and just general kind of loving person who was like a second grandfather as well in terms of just life in general. And Yiddishkeit, Leon Schwartz, a fellow named Leon Schwartz, Abba Leib Schwartz, who came from the village of Karapchiv in the northern Bukovina, near Vashkevitz, near Chernovitz, if some of you know of that. And so these are some of Leon's tunes that he used to play. He played in a multi-ethnic band of Jews, Ukrainian speakers, and Romani musicians, Roma, and which is when I finally got there in 2001. I mean, Leon died in 1991. I found the same band still in place with several of the descendants of the musicians that Leon played with back especially between about 1919, 1927 or so. And they were playing on an instrument, a cymbal, hammer dulcimer, that was made by the uncle of several of the musicians, and that they were still playing on today. That Leon used to play with that, the accompaniment of that cymbal as well. So some tunes from Leon, some Bukovina tunes. Princess and the Pea enacted on in Bukovina time. Thank you. Craig Judelman.
We'd like to bring back to the stage Miss Sasha Lurje. So yeah, I think this is the point where we start, lifting ourselves back up off the floor, or running back into the backstage, as it were.
Was it something we said?
But yeah, it's there's a lot of pretty heavy stuff happening in the world these days, unfortunately, and they seem to kind of pile on top of each other, to where sometimes it's kind of hard to keep track of which one you should be most worried about. And yeah, unfortunately, it feels like Ukraine has sort of had these other things piled on top of it. And I hope you agree with us that it's important to keep singing these songs and reminding ourselves not just of what's happening over there, but how much a part of our own story it is. And hopefully from this, we remember that how we connect not just to the places where we might have family or friends, but really to all the people all over the world, including the ones right next to us, here where we live or are. It's there's been a lot of pretty ugly history actually in humankind, and even before humans, I'm sure there was maybe it was worse. I don't know, but there's also a lot of really really beautiful stuff, and I think there's a danger in a way, and a thing that's happened to a lot of Jewish folks, where we look back at the old country and it's sort of like, I don't know if you've ever read Google reviews of car rental companies. Like they tend to be pretty bad because like when you have a good experience, you don't like waste time going on the thing. You're like taking photos for Instagram or enjoying your pasta or whatever it is. But yeah, this there's a lot of stories of like the really difficult, hard things that have happened, which are really difficult and hard. But there was also a lot of really beautiful life, a lot of deep love, a lot of new freckles and skin and blood red oranges or peaches or plums or whatever they were.
Parts of history can be thought of as hurts or avis. Right.
But yeah, so I hope that as we look at the history over there and over here, and not just the history but our own lives, as we all kind of deal with these difficult times that are here, not really coming anymore. We can sort of try to balance that and not be afraid to look at the ugly things and to take time to step outside of our own experiences, even when they're still relatively okay. But also to remember that, if we don't stop and look at the people we love and, enjoy it and still savor the sweetness, then what's the point, right? And being that it was yesterday Valentine's Day, which coming back to North America feels like is a real thing again. Living in Berlin, it's kind of like, it's just another day where you have a lot of crazy times. Well, not us, we sit at home. But anyways, we thought we'd sing you a couple of love songs by Ukrainian authors, or from the land of Ukraine still, but celebrating the beautiful and rich tradition of loving all kinds of people.
Oh, man. Yes.
So here's one from old Ben Yeoman himself.
This is a poem by Moshe Alpert. He was born somewhere in Galicia, and then moved to Vienna to study art, and then wound up in New York, and go read a Wikipedia article that I'm sure is also written by somebody who lives in this city. There is a certain somebody who is not currently in this city, but has been a hero of Yiddish Wikipedia.
I think we can say, let's give it up for Daniel Karkner.
Daniel Karkner, yes.
Woo! I don't know if he wrote the article, but I'm sure it's quite likely.
He's written many others, if not that one.
So this is, Craig mentioned the car reviews, and that's what I usually say about love songs. Usually, the best love songs are incredibly sad and everybody dies. But that's because, when you're in love, usually when everything is going well, you have better things to do than write songs.
Is there
Well-
roadside service?
I think Moshe Leib-Halpern had time to also write beautiful songs somehow in a happy year moment. So who can comprehend the beauty of the sea so that their heart doesn't explode from joy, and so that their heart doesn't explode from pain? You, my unrest. Why do I long for you so? Tell me. Not a day goes by, not a night, that I think of you and I dream of you, of you, of you. You, my sweetheart. You, my heart. You, my unrest. Wer kennt die Schönheit von einem verstehen? Wer kennt die Schein von deinen Augen sehen? Und nie zerrissen werden soll sein Herz von Freude. Und nie zerrissen werden soll sein Herz von Leid. Du, meine du, meine du, für was ich denk, azoi noch dir, so, es geht noch nicht weg an Nacht der Tag, und nur ich tracht von dir, und nur ich träum von dir, von dir, von dir, du Lab meinst, du Herz in mir, du, meine du, du, meine du. Für was ich denk, azoi noch dir, so, es geht noch nicht weg an Nacht der Tag, und nur ich tracht von dir, und nur ich träum von dir, von dir, von dir, du hab meins, du Herz in mir, du. Meine du, du, meine du, Dumru meine, du.
This fiery love that burns in my heart, what will become of it since we can't be together? It's your father's fault. It's your mother's fault. But most of all, my sweetheart, it's the U.S. president's fault. No, it's your fault. And the response comes back, steal away your clothes and hide them in the rye, and we'll run off together to a small town. But in a small shtetl, among strangers, who will lead us to the chuppah, and who will bless us in a small town, far away, among strangers? Angels will lead us to the chuppah, and sweet God will bless us. Die Feierliche Liebe, a song I know from Bronya Sakina, my old friend, and just general Yiddishkeit enhancer, and marvelous virtuosic singer, dancer, and traditional Jewish cook. Came from the Soviet Union in 1980 to New York. Die feierliche Liebe, sie tut in meinem Herzen brennen. Wie kommt euch in sehr lieben sich, als wir können sich nicht nehmen? Wie kommt euch in sehr lieben sich, als wir können sich nicht nehmen? Oi schildig dein Mome, in schildig dein Tote, in schildig binst du Schenio, oi mir erfin ze ole. Oi schildig bist du Schenio, oi mir erfin ze ole. Varois deine Kleider, in bolzeit schischene Kuren, in mir sich beiden a klein steht alle an Klopfen geworden. In mir sich beiden a klein steht alle an Klopfen geworden. In a klein steht alle, zwischen fremde Menschen. Maluchim wollen ins der Chippe führen, in der süßer Gott wird ins Menschen. Maluchim wollen ins der Chippe führen, in der süßer Gott wird ins Menschen. Der sicher Gott wird ins Menschen. Der sicher Gott wird ins Menschen. In der sicher Gott wird ins Menschen. In der sicher Gott wird ins Menschen. Also. Thank you.
We're getting to the home stretch.
You all want to go home, right?
No, that's where you stretch. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's yeah. We'll have a few more songs for you. It's such a pleasure to share this music and to get the privilege of coming up here to this wonderful community so many times. Yeah, David was saying earlier, it takes a lot of work to bring us here. It takes all of us somehow, including David himself.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure you all know how lucky you are to have so much great music here. How many folks were here for Teppel a couple weeks ago? Yeah. Yeah, I think as David said, I still come from Seattle, and it's been great to see all kinds of great Yiddish music, Yiddishkeit, all kinds of other kites happening down there and up here. Yeah, it's. I think those of us who, the content creators, he said content earlier. We're like, oh no, is it content? But anyways,
Right,
we really
it's like filler, right?
we really appreciate the many people who spend a lot of hours organizing these things to make them happen.
Like also the wonderful Chutzpah festival that happens here every year.
And Canada for allowing us to come in
Right.
and perform here. I wish we could return the favor.
But yeah, so we'll play you a song off our CD, another one. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's appropriately.
Oh, I could have gone for a
You
walk.
could have gone for a walk. Yeah. This last one was actually also on that CD. And if you don't have a CD player, don't worry. You can still buy CDs. So it's okay.
You can have the objet to admire and admire the artwork, the wonderful
Give it to a
artwork
friend.
by our friend Benny Ferdman down in L.A.
What? You can use it in your car. That's right. You can put it on your window. You could use it to
They
prop
make
up a
wonderful
table.
coasters, right?
Put it on the bookshelf. No, but it's a great way to support the band if you feel like it. And it is also on Spotify and all that stuff and Bandcamp, so you can buy it digitally or you can buy it in person, give it to somebody, and then listen online. But anyways, we're really grateful to be here and to have that thing. We're going to play you a tune from it called Highway Home. We will be on the highway home here in just a few hours or minutes, possibly. Heading down to Seattle, we'll be playing at the Limud conference, I guess you would call it. Tomorrow over there on Mercer Island, so if you have friends in Seattle, send them down, and we'll be there bright and early at noon.
Crack of noon.
But yeah, it's called Highway Home, and it's kind of it's a journey, like all of it. And yeah, I want to, I think, also say that it's just been a pleasure to get to create this music that really is kind of a home for ourselves. I think, I don't know, I'm sure a number of you have some journey with Yiddish music, or you grew up with it perhaps in your house, or you had to leave your home to find it somewhere else and bring it back. But I know I wouldn't be able to sit here and play these tunes and feel as at home in them as I do if I wasn't doing it with the man, the myth, the music stand lowerer, Michael Alpert himself.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Right, I've been conscious of this stand blocking the view of everybody sitting over here, so it might go back up when Sasha returns. But yeah, Highway Home. Thank you. Thanks very much. Craig Judelman. Sasha Lurje.
That was so beautiful. Well, we spent most of the night exploring these shared spaces and walking between where they exist and where they don't, and where they make them up, and where they have been invented by other people before us. And, well, towards the end, we're going to just enjoy this wonderful joyous Ukrainian instrumental tune and song that is also a Yiddish song about completely something different. The Ukrainian song is about loving the girl next door who's married to the guy next door.
Yeah, your neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not covet and all that. Right.
The Yiddish song is what happens afterwards.
No.
No, it's just about the wedding.
It depends it depends whose wedding we're talking about, but it's a
Yeah. I think I need to both play and sing here. Wait.
there you go.
gekommen mit der Vetternussen und gebracht auf feinem Kussen. Oi, weh, der Vetternussen hat gebracht auf feinem Kussen. Oi, weh, der Vetternussen hat gebracht auf feinem Kussen. Ist gekommen die Mimme Male, hat gebracht auf feine Kalle. Oi, weh, der Vetterale hat gebracht auf feine Kalle. Oi, weh, die Mimme Male, gebracht auf feine Kalle.
Und gebracht der ganze Städtel. Oi, weh, die Mädel und gebracht die ganze Städtel. Oi, weh, die Mädel und gebracht die ganze Städtel. This is Craig Judelman
Sasha Lurje.
and Michael Alpert.
And Craig Judelman.
And Sasha Lurje.
And Michael Alpert.
And it's still Craig Judelman.
Should we skip the formalities and just play you one last song and maybe you'll sing along with us a bit even? I feel like you might enjoy singing, no? Yeah.
So even this next song is written by Michael Alpert. I'm just gonna say, this is a song that every event has been finishing with for a couple years.
Maybe not every event, but many events in Yiddish land.
No, every event that is important.
You think that's because the lyrics are like really meaningful and
the melody is
insightful?
really beautiful.
Yeah, it's like fun to sing along to.
I think so, yes.
Or maybe it's, I don't know, maybe he paid the right person.
But really, since like the day I learned the song to today, I've sung it probably, I don't know how many times. And also Michael has edited it and updated it and has been creating it and making it alive every day and all the time. And I just think that this song, in very many ways, is a way for us not to only come together, which is the name of the song, Gather Together, Dear Friends, Sisters and Brothers, And even though we all come from afar, what's important is who we are and how we live our life and how we gather and celebrate and are joyous together and celebrate with joy and love, and maybe a little bit of alcohol
Maybe
and some good songs. But maybe he can
Or other
translate it.
psychotropic substances, being here in Canada and everything.
like that Vietnamese food that Jessica recommended. That was
Oh yeah, the Vietnamese food Jessica also just like Jessica. Thank you.
yeah, maybe you want to tell them about the second verse, or they were. I don't know.
Yes, in this world full of bloodshed and wrongdoing, it's easy to stray far from our true goals or our intended goals. It happens to me also, until I remember and realize that to live honestly depends on us, and I say that in terms of thinking very much about things like fake news and so forth, and the actions of all too many in this world today, and that our freedom lies in our own hands. So sing this song together with us, sisters and brothers and siblings of all kinds, and let your hearts take courage from it. Klijpt zich zijn neuf. Nope.
Kleibt sich zu Neuf, meine Schwester und Brüderlach. Ai, ja da da da, Mama, Mama, mai, mai, mai. Und lo mir sich freien, was mir sind nicht allach. Ai, Mama, 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 Mama. Genug schon zu weinen, mit Herzen verwundete. Ai, ja, Mama, Mama, Mama. Weil mir sind alle wie Kräuven verbundete. Ja, Mama,
Gott, ich bin gekommen, sie nach von der Waterwelt. Ai, tarararai, tararararai. Ihr seid mir alle, oi viel teuer noch von Geld. Ai, tarararai, tarararai. In azem din biz in waschen Togerei. Ai, tarararai, tarararai. Mit herzige Lieder in mit volle Flaschjes Wein. Ai, tarararai, tarararai. Tarararai, 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 Ihnen als a Welt von Averis und Blutigkeit. Ai, tarararai, tarararai, dai, dai. Sie gring sich zu Walger, wenn Emes jetzt zielen weit. Ai, dai, tarararai, dai, dai. O ihnen als a Welt, a sach Menschen verblongen sich. Ai, tarararai, tarararai, dai, dai. Amol wer ich soll, bis wann nicht hab ich sich. Ai, tarararai, tarararai.
Das Leben in Ehrlichkeit ist nur in sich gewähnt. Ai, in unser Freiheit liegt in
in die eigene Hand. Ai, da, 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 da. So singt nur das Liedl zu Freitag, lacht ein Rinke. Ai, da, 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 da. Und wer scheint mutig in die Herzerei Rinke. Ai, da, 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 da. Yes. Thank you very much.
Michael Alpert, everybody. Thank you for the song.
Craig Judelman, Sasha Lurje, and all of you, and Shalom.